Today I'm going to be introducing you to Spyderco Triangle Sharpener. This thing is badass. The only thing I use to sharpen my knives, bushcrafting, kitchen knives, even steak knives. I've sharpened serrated blades with it. Saws are a little sketchy on it, same with axes, but the porcelain rods that come with it work amazing on pretty much any sort of knife, saw, pretty much any blade, period. They come with, it's a completely modular system. So it's a completely modular system. It's all in this one pack. When you open it up, you can tell I've used it a few times, but it comes with two ceramic rods these are a fine grit, two ceramic rods that are a coarse grit, and then these two brass rods that these are for safety. So depending on the knife that you're using, this comes with two sets that you could place the rods in. The first set, this is a 30-degree bevel, and you place the rods in like this. And if you look at them, obviously each rod has 3 sharp edges and then 3 flats, and one of the flats has a hook sharpener in it, and that's for fish hooks or pins or pretty much any pointy object that you want to sharpen. And they come in different grits. So the sharp edge is the extra coarse grit, and then the flat edge of the black stone is a medium grit, and it's pretty much a 4-step process. So you start with the extra coarse, then you move to the medium, and then the sharp side of the white stone is a fine, and then the flat is an extra fine. And it's all a system to pretty much make your knives or your chisels or anything razor sharp. This thing really gets things razor sharp. So what this also includes is, if you look here, this is a 30-degree bevel, and then here is a 40-degree bevel. The 30-degree is a back bevel, so when you're cutting through things, you don't have a lot of resistance coming off the edge of the knife. Whereas on the 40-degree bevel, that's where your edge comes from. And 40 degrees is known as pretty much the best angle to sharpen your blades at. So the reason why these brass rods are here, these go in either this slot or this slot, and it's so when you're sharpening your knife, if you slip and you hit these rods, you're not going to cut your finger. And if you hit this, since it's brass, it's not going to dull your steel knife because it's softer than steel. So the knife I have is this is just an SOG Seal Pup. This is the older version, not the newer crap. This knife is pretty badass. The older version is much better than the newer version. Newer version's a complete joke. But this is an older one. I think I got this around 2010. If you can tell, it has a little sap on it, but that's no issue. This knife is already profiled, so I don't need to do the 30-degree back bevel. But if you have a knife that's really dull, that really needs sharpening, you want to do the back bevel on it, and then move to the 40-degree to really put a razor sharp edge. So this knife, it's profiled, but it's not very sharp. So we're going to start with the coarse, and we're going to work all the way up to the medium. And kind of a rule of thumb, it depends on the knife, it depends on how sharp it is and how polished it is, but I usually do 20 strokes on each side. So what's nice about this system is pretty much you take the knife and the profile or the angle is already set for it. So you just line it up and go straight down. And you do it on the other side. So you don't have to worry about, oh, is this too sharp on one side and not on the other. It's always equal as you go from one to the other. So that's one stroke, and I usually do 20 on each side. And what you'll see a lot of people do with this particular system is they line it up, and they go real slow, and then they stop on the tip. You want to go all the way through the tip. That will ensure that this profile stays sharp all the way to the tip of your blade. It may round it a bit, and I mean, I don't really know why you need that pointy of a tip unless you're frequently stabbing things, which is a bit concerning, but if you sharpen this all the way to the tip, even if it's a bit rounded, this is going to be, the whole blade's going to be sharp. So I just did my 20 on that side. I'm going to flip it to the flats, so this is the medium. So we went from coarse to medium. Same deal, 20 strokes. So if you're using like a utility, it describes as a utility edge, you can stop with the black rods and you'll still have a sharp knife. Like this knife is still pretty sharp. Not a bad edge there. This is still a pretty damn sharp knife. But if you can tell, there's a little ruffling on the edge. I think it could be sketching on the sap. But if you want a real high polish on this edge, you want to really move on to the white stones. And when I worked at Cabela's, we would almost exclusively use the white stones on people's knives because they would put it on a work sharp. They put it on. People were putting on their belt sanders. They were pretty much obviously inexperienced and didn't know how to sharpen their knives. So we put it on this, and all it really needed was that extra polish to really bring that edge out. So scissors or anything like that. It has an angle perfect for sharpening scissors, just to make sure that you have a razor sharp set of scissors all the time. And that's what a lot of people neglect. They'll get, you know, a $3 pair of scissors from Staples, use it until it's dull, and then go and buy new ones. When all you really have to do is put it on this for all of 30 seconds, and you have pretty much a sharper than you bought it at the store pair of scissors. So this is the Spyderco Sharpmaker. This thing's an awesome system. It's marketed at $75. I got it for a little cheaper than that because I think I worked at Cabela's at the time and I got a discount, which was awesome. But this is marketed at $75, which is much better than a lot of the systems that you'll buy out there. If you go to a local Cabela's or you go to a local Dick's Sporting Goods or anything like that, and you look at Lansky makes some, you know, the V-shaped cutters that have a carbide on one side and a ceramic on the other, that thing will destroy your knife. You don't want to go and spend, you know, $100, $200 on a really nice bushcraft knife and then absolutely destroy it on a $5 sharpener. Spend the money on a good sharpener and you'll never need another one. This thing is a fantastic system and I really recommend it. For 75 bucks, I mean, you can't go wrong. I would take over any work sharp. I would take it over any belt sander. For God's sakes, people are using belt sanders. Anything. This thing will make your blades sharper than you can imagine. See you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hit the like button if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe.